toe cars can be done seated or standing or any position that allows you to get the full foot on the floor. The end goal of toe cars is to be able to get the toes to move independently from other things like the ankles or the legs moving around, and to be able to separate the big toes moving from the other outer four. So to begin, I'll have the full foot flat on the floor. I want to feel some weight in the heel, and I want to have contact underneath the ball of the big toe and the ball of the pinky toe in the ground. Begin by lifting just the big toes. Big toes lift, big toes set down. Big toes lift, big toes set down. Practice these at least 5 times. Big toes lift, big toes set down. Then we can practice the outer 4. Big toes stay down, outer 4 lift, and set down. Big toes stay down, outer 4 lift, and set down. Alternately, if this is difficult to tap into, we can begin by lifting all 5 toes, setting down just the big toes. Sometimes this can be a helpful entry point, other times it can be a progression. All 5, big toe down, all 5 up, big toe down. You can also go all 5 up, outer 4 down. All 5 up, outer 4 down. And finally, practicing the spread in the toes, the way we can spread our fingers. All 5 up, reaching just the pinky toes out to the sides and tapping down 1 toe at a time to the ground, ending with the big toes as spread as they can be. All 5 up, pinky toes reach and tap down 1 at a time. All 5 up, pinky toes reach wide, tapping down 1 at a time to the best of your ability. Big toes end last. Some things to look out for and consider. Ultimately, we want the toes to be able to lift without other joints getting too involved. For example, common compensations. In attempting to lift these outer 4, oftentimes I'll see the ankles roll in to accomplish that task. We'll be losing contact with that ball of the pinky toe stuff on the ground. Or in lifting the big toes, the same thing can happen. The feet can roll out. We want to keep the full foot pressed to the ground. Again, the heel, the ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe. Trying to keep the ankles and the knees as still as possible while just the toes move. That's the end goal. It's okay to have a little bit of movement if you're just starting these out and you're just getting connected to this stuff, right? So as I'm lifting these outer 4, I'm going to want to feel some of this tissue at the top of the foot, maybe even the front of the shin contracting. And I'll even feel some of the underside of my arch stuff contracting as my big toe presses into the floor and the outer 4 lift. As I reverse that, as the big toe lifts and the outer 4 stay down, I'm going to feel a little bit of pressure, some work on the underside of foot stuff. Here, keeping the outer 4 in the ground, I'm going to feel some work here on the top of big toe stuff, pulling the big toe up. Take your time. This is a rub your belly, pat your head kind of scenario. It takes time and practice to get this down, assuming that you have the flexibility, that your toes have the range and have that give. It's just going to take some effort, frequency, and consistency over time, practicing, attempting to get these things, these piggies, to move independently of each other. The same way we can move our thumbs and the rest of our fingers independently of each other. They don't have to come along for the ride. In the same way that we're able to spread our fingers, we want to be able to ultimately spread our toes and splay our toes. Wash, rinse, repeat. Try this for 5 to 10 minutes a day and see how you feel.